In this video, we're looking at the Site Engagement Report tab inside of the tyGraph for Atlas solution. When we open the Report tab, we're greeted with the Content Navigator. Here we could view all of our sites by hub, if one existed, by site, and finally by page. Activity is broken down at the site level, where we can see the number of unique viewers and the number of page views that they've taken. And if I drill into it, I can do the same measure against the number of viewers and views against our pages. You'll notice that a number of buttons activated as I drilled into a site. I can see this site to have a closer look at the site audience, to have a better understanding of the viewership, the comparative activity of the pages, where they might be coming from in the world by country, province, state, city. I can even understand the attractiveness of some content by different authors. You'll notice a blank entry here. This represents system-generated pages. You'll also notice that there's some random strings. These are the email addresses of the paid authors, and in this particular tenant, the data has been protected or obfuscated, and that level of obfuscation or data protection is such that we can't see those names. Your tenant may not have this, and if this is the case, you will see your content authors listed here. We can also see activity by platform, by web browser, by operating system, by platform. And we can see all of this activity over time. We have this drop-down menu box that will allow us to change our perspective of the same data. We're currently looking at unique page viewers, but we could change that to look at average session duration expressed in minutes, or we could look at the number of page views, whatever makes sense for your particular analysis. We're going to click back, and we're back in site engagement. And instead of clicking a site, I'm going to click on a page. And you'll notice again, another option activates. And this one allows us to see the page. And now we can take a look at the page performance. We can see the number of viewers, the views that they've taken, and then we can understand the peak time for their viewing activity. I'm going to select the button, and now we can see the activity expressed by hour of day. And this is all based on UTC 0. And you do have the option in tyGraph for Atlas to have an offset parameter to make that into your local time zone, if that makes sense for you. Again, we have drop-down menu boxes to allow us to change the perspective of the data that we're looking at. We're currently looking at sessions, but we could turn that into page views if we wanted. We can see the average time on page measured in minutes. So for the home page on this site, our users were spending just over 5 minutes on the page. We can also see that on average, it took just over 2 seconds for the page to load. What's interesting is that we start to get referring URL and destination page information. And what that means is that we're seeing the user's journey. 157 different URLs brought our users to this page. For example, I can see that users came in from the root URL. Some users were forced to log in before they came. Some users came from Microsoft Teams. In this particular case, there were no destination links that they clicked off of, but if there were, we would see that here. So let's click back. We're back on the Site Engagement Report tab, and we've been looking at the Content Navigator. One of the things that we can do is search. If I wanted to find all of the pages that had the word department in it, I could simply search for department. And there I can see that in the root URL, there's a department listing, and then there's a department's document page. I can clear this out. Again, we can view the popularity of content by author. Here it is shown by department, but we have the ability to drill down. And I can see the country that that department is in, and I can even see the users that are in that country. We can see the peak time for this site. I can click, and it will plot this information below. We saw this in our previous report tab. We can also do this for the day of week. I can plot this, and I can view what days are most popular. And if I wanted to have a heat map experience to combine both the date and time, I could click the calendar icon and I can view that activity expressed by heat map. One of the great things about the tyGraph for Atlas solution is that you can see at a very granular level what people are clicking on your pages. We can see this in the form of the click area. It's listed below and it shows all of the items. An item could be an Atlas component, it could be a SharePoint web part, or it could be a link that you've added. Here we can see an entry for Atlas navigation. And if I wanted to, I could drill down one level of the hierarchy to see those items that sit inside of the Atlas navigation. So I can see that the Atlas navigation component had 4,620 clicks by 22 users. Inside of the Atlas navigation, I can see that the home button was clicked on over 1,000 times. The bid hub was clicked on over 471 times. Customers was clicked on 279 times, and so on. If you want a closer look at this activity, you can press focus mode, and this will list everything. You also have the option to show this as a table to get more of those Excel-like experience and those numbers, or you can take it a step further and export the data. Let's go back to our report. If there was a particular area that you wanted to focus on, you could use the click area drop-down menu box. If I wanted to focus on the connects web part, I could click it and see all of the activity in the click area specified just to those entries inside of connects. We can also see the viewership of the site by the client type, whether that's the browser desktop, Microsoft Teams, mobile devices, and so on. There's a lot to dig into with the Site Engagement Report tab, and it's a great way for you to understand what sites, what pages, and how and who are connecting with your content. Thanks for watching.